Now that you know why the attack offense was created, let's start building it fast break up. The mentality of the attack offense, why it's named attack, is because we are always on the attack no matter what. The minute we get the ball, we are attacking and putting pressure on the defense. It's a seamless, full court motion offense where, like I said, the minute we get the ball, we are in our offense. And we want to get the ball to the opposite rim or baseline as fast as possible and flatten the defense. Let me show you why that's important. Let's say we got the ball up to this corner. A good defense, protect the basket, be in gaps. Look what that does to the defense. It completely flattens it from the free throw line down. What does that do? That opens up. If we throw the ball here, closeouts. If we skip the ball here, closeouts. If we swing it around, closeouts. And what do you do to a closeout? You attack the closeout. Here we cross the street, push the ball up to the corner, get a cut through. Here comes the closeout. So, of course, on a closeout, we're going to attack that closeout. Nice bounce pass, easy layup. This time they don't come out and close out when we swing this ball. So if you're not going to close out, then we're going to take the open shot. The quicker we can get the defense flattened, like a good defense does, the better we can be. And we want to take open shots in rhythm, whether it's a layup or dunk or a rhythm three. Like, we want to take the first open shot that we can get that's in rhythm. One of the other little rules is from North Carolina, from Roy Williams, is if there's two defenders back, then we want to make that shot and get that shot up on the rim in 2 passes or less. Not only is it a good opportunity, a great opportunity at the beginning, but because you get the shot up faster, you actually have a better chance to offensive rebound and put that back in too. So let's start this full court fast break motion offense. Now, for us, we want to rebound and run. If it goes through the net, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, but we don't number anybody. We don't tell people you have to run to certain sides, you have to run certain lanes. We just go. Very first day of practice, I'll put down cones at mid-court to show the 5 lanes. On these green pieces of tape on this homemade board, these are my cones right now. But it'll space us into the 5 lanes of offense, and that gives us our spacing. And spacing is offense. And if you go into one of my trainings, my kids will tell you, if I say, what is spacing? They'll say offense, so they know better. Now, when we run outside to inside, let's say these two are running wide. The second player will read the first player. The first player occupies that wide lane. Next player, once they cross half court, occupies the next lane. Okay. If this first player cuts through, then this player then would occupy the wide lane. So they read each other. Here's a good example of our break outside in. As we throw the ball up the floor on the left side, the player in front realizes they got to get out wide first. The point guard will bring it down in the next lane over. And then on the other side of the floor, know your personnel. The post player knows he's going to run inside in his lane, so the outside player is going to stay outside wide. Now, they run down almost into like a 3-out look, but you can see the spacing of the 5 lanes and how it opens up this wide open shot for us. What happens if we have 3 people on one side? Does it matter? Nope. Watch. All 3 start running the minute they get over half court. So this player stays in the outside lane. The next player then reads this lane. Now, this player has a choice. They can either fill all the way to the middle lane, so we have those 3 lanes filled, or they could actually tell this player to cut through to the other side, and they can fill that lane. So there's options. We let them work together. We let them communicate together. We let them read off of each other, and they can have options, and you'll see that. Here's a good example with 3 players on the same side of the floor. You're going to see the second player cuts through, keeps our spacing, really good offense. So when players cross half court, do they have the option to cut through or look at the basket or rim run? Absolutely, they have that option. So if you have a rim runner, use a rim runner. You could do this. Can you still fill the 5 lanes as you do this? Absolutely, you can still fill the 5 lanes for spacing on offense. So if you have a rim runner, use a rim runner. It doesn't matter who the rim runner is, if it's a post, if it's a guard, but you're going to see the guard running right down the middle of the floor. Does that stop our offense? Does it stop our spacing? Not at all. Can you get a middle lane by having a cutter? If we're bringing it up here, can we have this person cut through? Absolutely. Skip it across, look in, seal the post, score that way. Again, it doesn't matter if it's a post or guard. If we like the matchup in the post, we'll take advantage of it and throw it down in there. Now, this is a good example because we actually have a cutter on the left side, and then in the middle, we actually have a rim runner, so we end up in a 3-out, 2-in look. Still good spacing, still works. So our only rules are we got to run outside to inside, and that's what creates our spacing with the 5 lanes. And as long as you have these 5 lanes filled, then you're going to have good offense because you're going to have good spacing. Now, some quick keys. We want the ball, the first pass, up the floor as far as possible. I lost to a coach with a really good fast break team, and we happened to be talking somewhere, and he said, I want that first pass at half court if we can get it at half court. And it like really triggered with me, like they play so fast, I get it. So when we get that ball, we're going to look at the opposite rim, and if we can throw it, we're going to throw it. Not a bad break here, scoring in the first 5 seconds of the offense. Any pass where the ball's going over half court in the air is a good thing. We get the rebound. We're looking down court. That ball goes over the half court line in the air. Something good is going to happen, whether it's a layup, open in rhythm shot, or a foul. Even if it's a made basket, we're looking to get the ball up the floor as far as possible. So if we could throw this inbounds pass all the way to half court and go, that's what we want to do. Obviously, that pass to half court doesn't need to be perfect all the time, just needs to be effective. And I would say here, scoring in the first 5 seconds of the break, I'd say that was pretty effective. Now, when I teach this, I make this really simple, like in youth terms, so I can use this from youth all the way to college. We can either pass the ball up the alley, which is on the same side of the floor. Watch how fast we get this ball from our rim to their rim. Anytime we get a one-on-one, we're going to attack it in the break. Coach isn't too happy about that. We can cross the street, which is throwing the ball across the floor. Because obviously defenses are taught, when the ball's here, they're taught to load to that side. So when you cross the street, you get a lot of heads not finding the basketball, especially when you get there in one dribble. So we got up the alley, we got across the street, and the last one is we could take it right down Main Street, which is this middle lane. We could dribble it right down Main Street. It doesn't matter who brings it up in our offense, even if it's our post player. If they're going to take away our space on the outside, we're going to take advantage of it and take it right down Main Street with the space on the inside. And obviously, our bench loves that one. And obviously, when we throw the ball ahead, what it does is, like we talked about before, it flattens the defense. So it opens up all sorts of trail opportunities, whether that's a trail three, whether that's a trail to a drive. There's all sorts of actions and opportunities off a trail offense that you can get. Get the ball up the floor as fast as possible, flatten the defense as fast as possible, and you'll see a lot of good trail offense. Now, the only time that I'll really put a little bit of structure on it is besides the outside in on the lanes, is when there's a made bucket. I like to say either the 4 or 5 is the player that's going to take the ball out of bounds. That's the way they know that's their responsibility, and we do not want the ball to hit the floor. So the minute it goes through the net, we want to get back and we want to punch that team back as quick as possible. In my opinion, there's nothing more debilitating than when a team scores and you've already punched them back within 8 seconds and you got that bucket back on the other end of the floor. The next 4 punchbacks I'm going to show you are against the top 25 team in the nation and actually the #1 scoring defense in the nation. So no matter who you're playing against, no matter how good their defense is, if you have that mentality that when they score, you're going to punch them back as fast as possible, you can do that against any team you play against. First one was 8 seconds punch back. Second one was 7 seconds punch back. This one is 5 seconds, so we're getting faster, good trail offense here against a flattening defense. And then we're going to score in 3 seconds on the last one. So I'd say we punch back pretty good. But there's no better punch back than being in a championship game and hitting the shot to take your team to the only NCAA tournament program history. They did it so fast, I couldn't even call timeout if I wanted to. So that's the fast break part of the attack offense. As you can see, we are seamless. The minute we get the ball, we are into our full court motion offense. It's not a half court offense. It's the minute we get the ball, we are in our offense. We are seamless. We use the lanes to make sure there's proper spacing, and spacing's offense. We want to get the ball down the floor and flatten that defense as fast as possible. And then we're looking to get any open shot in rhythm. We're not thinking about like, well, is this the right shot? If it's open and it's in rhythm, then it's the right shot. If you like what you saw here, if you think it can help you, please push that like button, subscribe to us. Next video is going to be about how we set up in the half court when we do set up in the half court offense so we can be as efficient as possible. So until then, keep attacking.